Today, Sunday, December 13th, we awake to the moon in Sagittarius. The moon was in Scorpio. That was that heaviness, that deep probing energy, that intensity, that recognition of what needs to be let go of that we've been experiencing since Friday, really adding to the thickness, the darkness of emotion that we've been experiencing over this past week. But we have awoken to the moon in Sag, which should brighten the mood a little bit, should lighten things up a little bit, make us a little bit more optimistic and confident about the darkness that we're still sitting in. But this is a preamble of the new moon in Sagittarius, which is the solar eclipse energy. It is a big deal. If you haven't downloaded your new moon in Sagittarius manifestation guide, I would definitely recommend you go do that. This is setting us up, planting new seeds of intention, manifesting a life that we want to be living for the next 6 to 12 months. This is eclipse energy. Take advantage of it. Nonetheless, we still have a little bit of time before the moon is direct in that solar eclipse window, which will take place tomorrow morning. So it's a great time, a great day to really focus in on the future horizons of what it is you want to be doing with your life and get that manifestation guide filled out and get your manifestation activity, that target that we talked about this month in the guide, ready to go. Today, we have Mercury squaring Neptune. So this is going to add to some mental confusion here. We're not thinking the best, and we're definitely not communicating the best. If anything, we're a little bit confused. We're a little bit overwhelmed and kerfuffled in that mental plane. We are kind of spending a little bit more time in our delusional state, in our imaginary land than we would like, but it's kind of a necessity right now because we are kind of still held back, still restricted, still kind of anchored in to the, fear and the doom and gloom of all the situations, the pain, the trauma that have been coming up for us as we've been doing this shadow work. So to get lost in our imaginations, to get lost in the mental plane, to be overly wishful in our thinking, in the prospects and in the horizons of our future is not doing us a bad thing here, because we really do have to start focusing in on the brightness of the future ahead instead of focusing in on the darkness that is rooting us here in this present moment. So you might have noticed that you are a little bit more sensitive. That is due to the energy still pouring in from the 12/12 activation portal, from the new moon that we're about to enter into, and all of the astrological aspects that I spoke very, very loosely about at the beginning of this forecast. This week is absolutely bananas, so I want you to be prepared for it. So we are feeling highly sensitive. Our psychic abilities are pinging off a new high that we are not used to. That's why I definitely advise healers to take a step back. We're going through our own transformation here. We have to have time to readjust our boundaries. We have to have time to learn how to ground and center in these new energies. They're highly palpable. Our mental planes are all over the place. We're creating blocks for ourselves. There's likely to be misunderstandings because, again, we're scatterbrained. We're not communicating properly. And I want to talk about the dream states that we've been having. Dreams are very intense lately, and they're kind of cryptic. They're kind of all over the place. They're kind of touching on a lot of really weird topics and themes, drawing our past into our present moment. They're definitely more vivid. They do have a tendency to be borderline nightmare-ish. And again, this is shadow work coming up out of our subconscious self in order to be processed, integrated, and released from our mental plane. And many of us, although, we would like to say that we are strong enough and mentally prepared enough to sort through some of our shadow work in our awakened conscious state, many of us prefer to do our healing work, our shadow work, through the dream state. There's nothing wrong with that. It's much easier to process. It's much easier to integrate. But nonetheless, our dream states have been lit up in a totally different way. So if you've been having some really weird dreams, I would definitely just take a step back, write them down, and see what kind of messages your subconscious self is trying to let you in on so that you can make that awareness a conscious awareness and start integrating that into your awakened state.